A former casino floor manager just exposed something the industry has been hiding for years. There are 8 specific slot machines with RTPs so high that casinos quietly pray you never find them. These aren't the flashy games they push in ads or place by the entrance. These are the machines they bury in corners, rotate off floors, and hope you walk right past. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which slots give you the best mathematical shot at stretching your bankroll and why casinos lose sleep when informed players sit down at them. Number 8. Bloodsuckers. Let's start with a cult classic that casino insiders have quietly complained about for years. Bloodsuckers, developed by NetEnt, looks like a standard vampire-themed slot. Spooky graphics, creepy sound effects, nothing too unusual on the surface. But underneath that gothic exterior is an RTP of around 98%. That's one of the highest you'll find anywhere. To put that in perspective, most slot machines on a typical casino floor hover between 85% and 92%. Bloodsuckers just gives back nearly 98 cents of every dollar over time. That gap might sound small, but over hundreds of spins, it translates into dramatically longer play sessions and slower bankroll drain. Former floor staff have noted that this game rarely gets prominent placement. You won't see it featured on end caps or promoted with flashy signage. It's usually tucked away, waiting for players who already know what they're looking for. Here's what makes it even more interesting. The bonus round triggers fairly often compared to other high RTP slots. You're not grinding through endless dead spins waiting for something to happen. The game keeps you engaged while simultaneously returning more value than almost anything else on the floor. One player tracking forum documented a session where someone played Bloodsuckers for over 4 hours on a modest bankroll, something nearly impossible on a standard 88% machine. That's the power of a few percentage points working in your favor. If you see Bloodsuckers available, sit down. It's one of the few games where the math actually respects your money. But here's where it gets more interesting. The next machine has an RTP that can climb even higher if you know which mode to play. Number 7. Mega Joker. This one throws most players off because it looks ancient. Mega Joker is a classic 3-reel fruit machine with a design that feels like it belongs in a 1990s arcade. No fancy animations, no elaborate bonus rounds, just spinning fruits and a deceptively simple layout. But here's what ex-casino staff know that casual players don't. Mega Joker has 2 modes, and the difference between them is massive. In the base game, the RTP sits around 76%, which is terrible, but when you unlock Super Meter mode by betting max coins, the RTP jumps to roughly 99%. That's not a typo. 99%. The catch is that most players never activate it. They see the retro design, assume it's a low-value throwback, and move on. Or they play on minimum bet, triggering that brutal 76% return without realizing they're in the wrong mode entirely. Patient players who understand the mechanics use Mega Joker for slow, grinding sessions where small profits can stack over time. It's not glamorous. There are no exploding wilds or cinematic bonus rounds, but the math favors you in a way that almost no modern slot can match. Casino insiders have described this game as a relic they wish would disappear. It doesn't generate the same revenue as flashier machines because informed players don't lose quickly on it. Your move: always play Super Meter mode at max bet. Anything less, and you're handing the house a huge edge for no reason. Now, if you think 99% is impressive, the next slot has a house edge so low that some casinos have literally pulled it from rotation. Number 6. 1429 Uncharted Seas. This game has one of the lowest house edges in the entire industry, and casinos are not happy about it. Developed by Thunderkick, 1429 Uncharted Seas features a beautifully illustrated nautical theme with hand-drawn art that looks like it belongs in a storybook. But don't let the visuals fool you. The real story here is the math. The RTP on this machine sits around 98.6%. That means the house edge is barely over 1%, which is closer to blackjack territory than typical slot territory. For comparison, most slots give the casino a 10% to 15% advantage. Uncharted Seas cuts that down to almost nothing. Former employees have revealed that this game often gets rotated out of online lobbies or buried deep in category menus where casual players won't stumble across it. It's not banned, but it's definitely not promoted. Casinos want action on the 88% machines near the homepage, not the one that practically plays fair. The gameplay itself is smooth, with expanding wilds that can cover entire reels during the bonus round. When those wilds stack correctly, the payouts get serious fast. One Advantage player described 1429 Uncharted Seas as the closest thing to an even match against the house. You're still facing a slight disadvantage, but it's so small that a lucky session can easily tip the scales. If you spot this game, play it before it disappears again. Speaking of games that give you an actual edge, the next one has a feature that lets wins chain together in ways casinos absolutely hate. Number 5. Jackhammer. Here's where the gameplay mechanics start working heavily in your favor. Jackhammer, another NetEnt creation, uses a comic book detective theme with a feature called Sticky Wins. And once you understand how it works, you'll see why this game frustrates casino operators. Every time you land a winning combination, those symbols lock in place while the rest of the reels respin. If the respin creates another win, the new symbols also lock. This chain continues until no new winning symbols appear. Essentially, a single spin can cascade into multiple payouts without costing you anything extra. The RTP hovers around 97%, which is already solid, but the sticky win mechanic changes the feel of the game entirely. Instead of one hit followed by long stretches of nothing, you get these clustered bursts where wins stack on top of each other. It creates a payout consistency that most modern slots simply don't offer. Former slot technicians have noted that Jackhammer generates more frequent mid-sized wins than the industry average. It's not designed to dangle a rare jackpot in front of you while draining your balance. The returns are steadier and more distributed. One forum user tracked 100 spins and recorded significantly more winning chains than comparable games with standard reel mechanics. The sticky feature made the difference. If you value consistency over chasing moonshot jackpots, Jackhammer deserves a spot in your rotation. And if you thought sticky wins were clever, wait until you see what the next machine does. Number 4. Kings of Chicago. This machine breaks the mold entirely. Kings of Chicago doesn't use traditional slot reels. Instead, it plays like a video poker hybrid, dealing cards across the screen and paying out based on poker hand rankings. Pairs, straights, flushes, full houses. If you've ever played 5-card draw, you'll feel right at home. The RTP sits around 97%, which already puts it in elite territory. But here's what makes it a quiet favorite among Advantage players. The poker format introduces an element of predictability that pure slots don't offer. You're not just watching random symbols tumble. You're watching recognizable hand combinations form, and that psychological clarity helps players make smarter decisions about bet sizing and session length. Former casino employees have noted that Kings of Chicago attracts a very specific type of player, people who understand probability, who track their sessions, and who don't chase losses emotionally. In other words, exactly the players casinos don't want sitting at their machines. The game also features scatter wins and free deal bonus rounds that can stack value quickly when they trigger. Unlike volatile slots that make you wait forever for one big hit, Kings of Chicago distributes value more evenly across sessions. One Advantage gambling community calls it the thinking player's slot because success feels less random and more connected to pattern recognition. Whether that's mathematically true or just perception, the result is the same. Players last longer and lose less. There's another reason casinos dislike this game. It doesn't trigger the same reckless behavior that high volatility machines create. Players stay calm, play methodically, and walk away before emotions take over. That's a nightmare for the house. If you prefer strategy over pure luck, Kings of Chicago belongs on your radar. Now, the next machine flips the script entirely. Number 3, Dead or Alive. This is the slot that gives casino managers genuine anxiety. Dead or Alive, developed by NetEnt, has become legendary in gambling circles for one reason. When the bonus round hits, it can hit massive. The base game RTP is around 96.8%, which is respectable, but not extraordinary. The real story is the volatility. This machine is designed to run cold for stretches, then erupt with payouts that dwarf your original bet. We're talking 500 times, 1,000 times, sometimes even higher during a hot free spins feature. The Wild West theme includes sticky wilds in the bonus round, and when those wilds line up across the reels, the multipliers stack aggressively. Players have documented single bonus rounds that returned more than their entire session's worth of bets in under 2 minutes. Former floor staff describe Dead or Alive as a high-risk, high-reward machine that attracts players willing to weather dry spells for a shot at life-changing spins. Casinos tolerate it because the volatility works both ways. Many players bust out before hitting anything significant, but when someone does catch fire, the payout reports make management wince. One gambling forum cataloged a session where a player turned a modest bet into over 2,000 times during a single bonus round. That's the upside casinos quietly dread. If you have the patience and the bankroll to survive the droughts, Dead or Alive offers some of the most explosive win potential in the industry. But if you prefer stacking smaller wins consistently instead of swinging for the fences, the next machine is the one ex-employees call the problem child. Number 2, Devil's Delight. Casinos have a name for machines that don't drain players fast enough. They call them problem children. And Devil's Delight sits near the top of that list. Developed by NetEnt, this slot features a dark, underworld theme with demons, sin, and some surprisingly clever bonus mechanics. The RTP lands around 97.6%, which already makes it more generous than the vast majority of slots you'll encounter. But the real issue for casinos is how the features stack. Devil's Delight includes multiple bonus rounds that trigger at reasonable intervals and consistently return solid value. You're not waiting 300 spins for one disappointing feature. The game keeps feeding you smaller gains that add up over time. Former slot attendants have mentioned that informed players specifically seek out Devil's Delight for extended sessions because their bankrolls simply last longer. The machine doesn't punish you with endless losing streaks designed to push you toward bigger bets. It lets you play at a sustainable pace. One of the standout features is the Soul-O-Meter, which collects symbols during the base game and eventually triggers a sin-themed bonus round with genuinely meaningful payouts. It's a grind mechanic that rewards patience instead of punishing it. Advantage players describe Devil's Delight as a slow burn that favors discipline. You won't hit a massive jackpot in 5 minutes, but you also won't walk away wondering where your money went. If longevity matters more than volatility, this is your game. And finally, the number 1 slot on this list. It's the game casinos promote everywhere, but secretly hate when knowledgeable players refuse to leave. Number 1, Starburst. Here it is. The slot that appears on every casino homepage, every promotional banner, every new player bonus offer. Starburst is the most marketed slot machine in the world, and that's exactly why most people assume it favors the house. They're wrong. Starburst, developed by NetEnt, has an RTP of around 96.1%. That's not the highest on this list, but here's what makes it dangerous for casinos. The win frequency is exceptionally high. You're not grinding through 50 dead spins waiting for something to happen. Small and medium wins land constantly, keeping your bankroll alive far longer than most machines allow. The expanding wilds trigger often and pay both directions, which doubles the opportunities for winning combinations on every spin. It's a simple mechanic that adds up over hundreds of plays. Former casino employees have admitted that Starburst gets promoted heavily because it attracts new players with its colorful, accessible design. But the same employees say management quietly dreads when experienced players camp on it for hours. Those players understand that the frequent small hits are stretching their entertainment value way beyond what the casino prefers. One player on a gambling forum documented a 3-hour session on Starburst, where he started with $50 and cashed out with $47. That's 3 hours of entertainment for a $3 loss. Try doing that on an 88% penny slot. You'd be broke in 40 minutes. The game's simplicity is actually its greatest strength. No complicated bonus rules to misunderstand. No high volatility traps that drain your bankroll while you wait for a feature that never comes. Just clean, consistent action that rewards players who value time over jackpot fantasies. One industry insider described Starburst as the slot that looks casual but plays tight for the house. Smart players exploit that gap between perception and reality. The machine doesn't offer a traditional bonus round, which scares off jackpot chasers, and that's fine. Let them chase. Meanwhile, players who understand value extraction sit on Starburst and grind efficiently. If you want a slot that lets you play longer without bleeding money fast, Starburst is the answer hiding in plain sight.